Welcome back to another weekly preview, this time for week 8 of fantasy hockey. We're almost at the halfway point of fantasy hockey for this year, which is crazy to say out loud. Most playoff schedules start week 23, so we're slowly getting there, but not quite there. Just American Thanksgiving is right around the corner, so happy Thanksgiving to our American friends. This has basically drastically impacted the NHL schedule for next week, and it's really loaded on some heavy nights, so there's not a lot of streaming options, but there is some value in this video, so let's get right into it, guys. This is your week 8 preview for fantasy hockey. So like I said, there is really only 2 off nights because all of the busy nights for this upcoming week are heavily loaded. We're talking a minimum 11 games for those busy nights. But you also have the Wednesday, which is American Thanksgiving, where there's 0 games being played. So I didn't include that as a off night just because no NHL team is playing. So you really only have 2 days, which are off nights. So almost every NHL team also plays 4 games this week. There's only a handful of teams that play 3 games and only 2 teams that play 2 games. But starting us off, our best schedule for this upcoming week are the Bruins, the Habs, and the Canucks. And then there's a handful of teams that get 4 games with 1 off night. I'm not going out of my way to stream someone from one of these teams that only have 1 off night, unless it's a really high-end player or somebody that just shouldn't be on waivers in general. So have a peek around your waiver wire, see what is available, but I would be targeting the Bruins, the Habs, and the Canucks for this upcoming week if you're looking at streaming somebody, or if you have somebody that only plays 2 games for this upcoming week. For your max game schedule this week, you need to pick up a Bruin right off the bat. You get 1 off night and then 3 games, and then you drop them on the Friday. You pick up a Hab, you get them for 1 extra game and then an off night as well. So that gives you 5 games for the week with 2 off nights. As I mentioned before, there's only 2 teams that have 2 games for this upcoming week, and they're both on busy nights, the Leafs and the Oilers. So if you can afford to drop somebody from this team that hasn't been good or is just insignificant, I would go ahead and do so. And then obviously the busy nights are the 25th, the 27th, the 29th, and the 30th. Like I said, the 28th being American Thanksgiving, so there is no hockey on that day whatsoever. I only did 1 list of priority streams for that reason, and starting us off, Jake DeBrusk, line 1, power play 1. He's really come along. He had a really slow start in Vancouver, but things are clicking now. Elias Pettersson is back. Thank God for that, for those of you that own EP. But he's been fantastic, and DeBrusk has really kind of ridden along his coattails there. He's been good shot volume, good hit volume. He's solid. Kiefer Sherwood is an absolute cheat code if you count hits in your league. Like, this guy is setting NHL records for most hits. It's absolutely insane. Like, Don talked about it. I don't think there's been a player that's really come in and impacted fantasy hockey in the way that Kiefer Sherwood has, especially from like a bangers league perspective. He's just been insane. Like, his hit volume is a cheat code. So pick him up. He's also been chipping in offensively as well and has a good shot volume, which is the more surprising thing. Is like, this guy is like legit Brady light all of a sudden. So highly recommend picking him up. He's also power play 2, which is crazy. Zach and Lindholm have not been great. The Bruins haven't been great. Hopefully with this coaching change, it'll light a fire under them. But I can't even like say anything good about Elias Lindholm. He's skating on line 2 now alongside Marchand and I don't, Brazeau, I think it is. I don't even know. But Zach is line 1 with Pasternak, so I would recommend grabbing him. He's center left wing eligible. He's also 10% owned, so he's a good deep league pickup for those of you that are in deeper leagues. And then same thing with Brendan Gallagher for those of you that are in some really competitive, really deep leagues. He's got a great schedule for this week, having 2 off nights. His shot volume has been really good, and he's got 8 goals on the year, and he's been chipping in offensively as of late. Playing line 3 and power play 2, so you don't get a lot of exposure to like a top end power play, because the Montreal power play has been solidified for the entire year, and I don't see it changing anytime soon. Moving on to our defensive streams, Lane Hudson, pair 2, power play 2. He would be probably double his ownership if he was just playing power play 1, but for whatever reason, they just don't want to put him there. It's it's something that we highlighted in preseason that, like, you know, he should be power play 1, but are they actually going to like play him there based off of how good Matheson was the year before? I know a lot of Habs fans are screaming for him to be on power play 1. We are as well. It just makes so much more sense to me than having a guy like Mike Matheson on the back end. But I digress. He's pair 2 at power play 2. Good option for this week at 33% owned. Mason Lohrei with the Hampus Lindholm injury has been moved up to power play 2. He's actually been really good. He's got 4 points in his last 5 games and a decent peripheral package to go along with it. So 1% owned, good option for those of you that are in deeper leagues. Same thing with Kaiden Guhle. He is more of a peripherals machine, one of the better block guys in the league. He's got a decent shot volume, decent hit volume, chips in offensively here and there, but much more of a floor player given the fact that he has a really, really good block volume for those of you that count blocks in your leagues. So again, pick him up if you just want some defenseman with a good floor. Erik Brannstrom is now on power play 2. He's been pretty good as well. So if you want some power play exposure, I recommend grabbing him. His peripherals are half decent as well. And then Brandon Carlo, similar situation to Kaiden Guhle if for whatever reason Guhle's picked up, or if you just prefer Carlo because he gets you a little bit more in terms of hit volume, I would, again, recommend grabbing him given the fact that he's one of the better block guys in the league and gets you a ton in terms of his peripherals if you count blocks. There's a lot of back-to-back options, so I recommend going ahead and having a look at your schedule and what is available on your waiver wire. But these are some key targets that I've highlighted. Spencer Martin, again, Kochetkov went down with an injury, didn't look good. Spencer Martin could just be outright the starter. I talked about it last week, but then Kochetkov came back. Martin also still got a start in the previous week. But again, he's not a great matchup against Dallas by any means. They've started to come along as well. But again, like if you're able to get a guy at 17% owned that's on the Carolina Hurricanes and is a starting goalie for the next week, you're going to get a ton, especially in points leagues. So I highly recommend grabbing him. Arthur Shelovs, again, the Canucks are rolling. They play Pittsburgh on the 27th. He's a good option as well. I know he hasn't been great, but again, the Canucks are solid and have been playing really well lately, so that should be a really good win, especially based off how bad Pittsburgh's been this year. Marc-Andre Fleury, you get him either against Chicago or Nashville on a back-to-back. Either are great options. Minnesota has been rolling as well. Kaprizov should be back. I think it was just a little like minor day-to-day thing to keep him out, but we'll monitor that as well, so no worries there. Minnesota's been a great team this year, and Fleury should pick up a win either against Chicago or Nashville. And then Jonathan Quick has been so good this year, 25% owned. He is skated to play against Montreal on a back-to-back on the 30th. Should be an easy win for the Rangers, given how good Quick's been. That's going to do it for the video, guys. Let me know in the comments down below. Apologies on the lack of content on my end. The things at work have just been super busy the last couple of weeks, but as we get closer to the holidays, the content will come back out. So look forward to a video this week around some player updates. I know I asked you guys for your opinions, who you want me to talk about in a future video. Let me know in the comments down below as well. I'll look at last week's video as well as this week, and I'll get you guys hopefully some good names. I might just like go over a bunch of players for you guys. So let me know in the comments down below what you think. Thank you so much for watching. Hit that subscribe button. I will see you in the next one. Good luck in your week 8 matchups.